everybody, my name is MetalMusicMan.
And I'm Professor Lex.
And this is episode 72 of the MetalMusicMan podcast. Welcome.
Just for you, dear viewers, I am resisting the urge to eat a s'mores Pop-Tart. Will was doing the count-in where he sits there and he waits, and I was about to ruin it. I was going to sneak a bite while everything was quiet, and that was just going to fuck up the count. Will would just sit here and stare at me in anticipation.
Yeah, but now you've got a whole s'mores Pop-Tart to eat, so...
No, I've got a Pop-Tart and some change.
Oh, yeah. Look at you. Oh, I'm kind of jealous. I kind of want a s'mores Pop-Tart right now. Yeah, that's just pretty good. Dear viewers, I apologize in advance for how last podcast and now currently I'm only coming out of your right audio channel for the most part. I have what I think is a bad 3.5mm stereo cable, and it was supposed to arrive Friday. It is now Monday, and it's now scheduled to arrive today by 6, maybe. So anyway, I don't know. Hopefully next time you hear us, that's not a problem. But I don't have another one of those cables to swap out. So enjoy.
You want me to lend you a microphone?
No, it's great. It's not my mic. It's my you've got fuck you. Yeah, you've got so many great microphones to swap between.
I do.
In your amazing graveyard of dog shit microphones that don't work properly. You can just pull one out and behold.
Look at this stuff.
Behold.
Isn't it neat?
Oh, okay. I was going to go with Lion King and be like, son, everything the light touches except that pile of dead microphones belongs to us. Well, welcome back, Professor Alex from TNS Chicago, where
I went to that thing.
Played in a tournament?
Yeah, it was the second coming of Marvel.
I saw it had like 500 views. And I was going to watch you and be a good friend. And then my mom...
the fuck out of the tournament.
Well, yeah, you got fucked. But also my mom and my aunt were like, help us plug in our computer. We moved into an old folks home. Well, my aunt, not my mom. But And I was like, oh, okay. And I plugged in an Ethernet cable. And
that's good.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's straightforward.
Anyway, so you got fucked up. Did you go 0-2?
I did. No, I went 1 and 2.
Oof.
Yeah, I played against... I'm a little disappointed in myself for making the adjustment too late. My first match was against
later, or you mean
no, the game I won. I was like, oh shit, I should have been doing this in the other game.
Gotcha.
Yeah. My first match was against Jason Game Dev, who is a Mora Doom player. He plays Chris G's team, Morgan, Dr. Doom, and Virgil. It's a good team. I was so excited because I got in the first game. I got the first hit. And it was a happy birthday, and my team, since I've got X-23 in the back,
for any
means
non-team fighter players, happy birthday is whenever you hit more than one character with a combo. Like they're trying to tag
specifically
in.
2.
Is 3 something different?
Merry Christmas.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I thought
it never happens. No one talks about it. No.
Okay. But yeah, so if you hit like while they're trying to tag in, you can sometimes hit both characters at once, and that's a happy birthday. Anyway, so you happy birthday.
Yeah, he made one bad assist call. I blew him the fuck up. I popped X Factor. I built enough bar that I could get my unblockable level 3 set up with X-23. It was a beautiful first game, and I was like, fuck this guy. I'm a god. And then every game after that, I couldn't do that thing and died. Yep. Yeah, I got zoned out like real hard, and I made maybe like 1 or 2 bad choices, but I didn't make any good choices, so I lost.
Sometimes you can't do the thing. Yeah.
Right. Then my second game, so my first game in the losers, I played against a guy who played Morgan and Dr. Doom and Sentinel instead of Virgil. So it's like Virgil's a good, in case of emergency, break open glass character.
Yeah, he just puts the belt on, right? And he just goes fucking hamzo. Yeah.
He can spend meter, he can spend X Factor, he can be anywhere on the team and serve a vital function. So like the second guy didn't have that. He had Sentinel, which is a much better assist than Virgil has. But do you hear Isaac screaming in the background?
I heard a cat.
It's fucking cat.
I was listening to one of ours the other day, checking up on quality control, and there were like 5 times during the podcast, it was just like, roar, 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 like your fucking dogs were going off in the background.
I try and mute that if I hear him going. So this guy was basically betting everything on Morgan. He was like, if I give her enough assists, if I give her all the stuff, then there's no way that old Professor Lex can handle me. And then I was like, oh, if I just play intelligently and avoid getting hit by fireballs, I can win the game. And then, if only I had thought not to be hit by fireballs in the previous game.
Yeah.
So anyway, that it was fun. I played a bunch of casuals. I played against CPK, Dr. Snake Tits. There's one other person. Evie. All very good.
The only name I know is Dr. Snake Tits, and the only reason I know that name is because it's Dr. Snake Tits. I couldn't tell you who they play, what they look like.
You would like Dr. Snake Tits.
But I know I've seen that name in the past and remembered it because, like, why? Yeah. Why?
Well, okay, so let me give you the rundown, the lore on Dr. Snake Tits.
Sure.
So Marvel has died and come back a number of times. And one of the times it died and came back was in the Pasadena Regionals, which was hosted by, or at least run by, Dr. Snake Tits, who came up with a very clever format for Marvel, specifically when there's a small enough number of people to play it. Rather than playing, like, usually it's best 3 games out of 5, he had it best 4 out of 7, unless you get a 3-0. If you get a 3-0, then it's over.
That's not new. That's been a thing. That's Glenn's Garden did that. They call it
Dr. Snake Tits Pasadena Regionals format. That's what they call it. No one's ever done it.
What are you talking about? People do it. It's called like SBO or something. They did it at Glenn's Garden in like fucking 2010.
SBO is like best of one, and then you go back
maybe
home
it's not
from
SBO
Japan.
then. Maybe it's something else. No. I don't remember. There's some, but whatever it is, it's like you have to win. It's like, isn't it like you have to win so many games, otherwise the set isn't over? It's like the same idea. It's not quite identical.
Oh, so it is. You're saying it's a different thing than
I guess it's a similar concept, right? Like, it's like
is it like you have to win by 2 or whatever?
Yeah, this is like the inverse of that. You're basically saying, right? Where it's like if you win by blah, then it's done.
If you win a 3-0 specifically, the set is over.
It's the opposite.
Yeah.
That's cool. I feel like I guess that helps with speed, but still gives you hype matches.
Exactly. Yeah, and like, if you're skunked, then most of the time the set is just over at that point. And if it's not, it allows you to make the kind of reads and comebacks for a long set. And Marvel's fast enough that normally, like, you couldn't do it at a major, but for a smallish event, it's worth.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and his team
even the
is
majors are 3 out of 5 now, right? For Marvel, they have been for that game is so fucking
for
insane.
Eons.
Yeah,
I've been in like one tournament in like 2011 that wasn't 3 out of 5. That was Seasons Beatings.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
remember that
at least since 2011. That game.
Yeah, the game shouldn't be in a 2 out of 3. That's fucked.
Yeah, Marvel's too insane.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I feel like it was like good Marvel to watch. I spent a lot of time playing casuals, and then I watched a lot of like top 8, top 24, stuff like that.
I did watch like before you actually played. I watched the stream for like 2 hours in the background while I was playing World of Warcraft because that is my life. And I never saw you, and I was very sad about it. I just saw the one guy who looked like Mr. K's bigger, beefy
Ronan
brother.
Healy. Yeah.
And I was like, that's Mr. K. Dang, he really buffed up. And I was like, oh no, that's a different person. he just looks a lot like Mr. K.
We like Ronan. He's a good player. He makes for good Marvel. Everyone there was just like really good. Watch top 8. It was enjoyable. I think there was enough of a breadth of play styles there to get like a good representative feel. So like whenever that goes up on the Tampa Never Sleeps YouTube channel, everybody should check that out. Just watch it.
I haven't watched Marvel in a really long time, so I guess it could be fun. I'll keep it on the old docket. I think I probably got some time at work. Today was like the first day of school, so I probably got some time before I can really slack off. Actually when we were trying to start the podcast, I got like fucking 8 work emails at the end of the day. I left at 4:25 or some shit instead of 4:30.
If only you had left 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah, in the span of like 4:25 to 4:30, everyone was just like, I need help.
Welcome back.
Fuck off. No, thank you.
Well, you were gonna come up with me to the thing to TNS.
I was, but today was the first day of school, and I had to fucking do shit. It was mostly, it was less about today being the first day of school because I actually have skipped the first day of school in the past. It's more about Friday having been open house, which is when I hand out all the laptops and shit, and I have to be there until fucking.
That one's important.
Dude, yeah. Parents are just the worst sometimes. Like, they all know me. I don't know any of them. So they're always like, "Oh, you're the guy," and I'm like, "Hello," and then I'm
do
like,
you do that thing where you're like, "Hey, how are you doing? How's it been?"
Oh no, I straight up ask them their last name to their face because I'm just
Tell
like,
me your last
I just go last name, and then they're like, Bobbert or whatever, and I'm like, "Cool, here's your laptop," blah 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 blah. I didn't check it off on the list, and like most of the people are fine; they don't really care. But there's always like a couple families who like presumably they've like, I don't know, done something for the school or donated something, or they
don't you know?
And
we're the Robinsons.
And they're like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. There's so many of you. There's only one of me, and I just don't care. So like, just tell me your name, and I'll give you your computer. Anyway, I have to like do all that. So I actually went out after that, but I was there till like fucking almost 6:30 because, of course, some parent shows up. The end of the thing is supposed to be at 6, and they show up at like 6:01. I made the mistake of leaving at 6:01. And this dude and his kid show up, and they're just like, "Oh, we got the time wrong, blah, 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 blah." I'm like,
ooh, damn, no laptops.
No, I'm not that mean. If they were mean at all, I would have been, but like, you can definitely sneak one in on me if you kill me with kindness a little bit. I'll just be like, fine. If you're nice enough, I will have a hard time being a dick to you, to a point.
Is that so?
But, yeah, to a point.
How nice do I have to be?
Pretty nice. But no, so yeah, that's I don't know. I wish I could have gone with you to the tournament. It would have probably been fun, even though I don't give a fuck about Marvel. I'm sure I would have had a good time just Chicagoing and hanging out.
The one thing that you definitely would have saved me from is I made my own hotel reservations, and I went to the absolute sketchiest hotel I've ever stayed at.
You can't be doing that. I refuse to stay in a bad place anymore, dude. I
didn't know. I didn't look at any of the pictures. I was like, damn, that's okay. I guess this is what a hotel costs.
We stayed at a pretty shitty one for Combo Breaker, and like that one was bad. Yours was way worse even than
this was way worse. Yeah, I thought I was gonna die.
Dude, the Combo Breaker one was
someone's gonna break into my car and kill me.
Yeah, that's about one of the worst ones I've stayed in is the one we were at Combo Breaker. It smelled like shit. The doors didn't work. Like fucking. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So when I went to bed, I was certain that someone was gonna hotwire my car and throw it in reverse and drive over me in my sleep. And then, as I was nodding off, I got to listen to the dulcet tones of a train that was loud and had a horn for like, oh my god, hold on. My little brother also went to Chicago. This is a fact. I'm just putting this together.
At the same
time.
Little
brother, yes, but he took the train.
Okay.
He was really excited because he got in ahead of schedule. And then as he was getting in, he called his friend and he was like, "Hey, George, can you pick me up from the train station?" And George said, "Sure." And then the train stopped.
No one who isn't 60 has a friend named George. This story is
Mike
fake,
is much too young
fake news
to be 60. George is normal. George is that's a generic name.
Yeah.
It's not like an old guy name.
Man.
Abernathy. That's an 80-year-old man.
His name might as well be Clancy, dude.
Clancy's pretty old. But like, so I assume that this honking train outside was my little brother just sitting there trapped.
Just
and
being excited.
The timeline lines up. Yeah.
If that's real, that's hilarious. If it really was like the train,
it lines up. The timeline adds up.
Okay.
So then I go out to the tournament, have a great time, come back, it's late as hell, and I'm like, it's time for me to go to bed. And so I get my card out and I slide it into the door and it beeps red, and I was like, you gotta let me go to sleep. And I just kept going. I guess they deprogrammed my card or something while I was out, and so I went to the front desk and I was like, hey, what the fuck,
why the fuck can't I sleep?
Yeah, they said, what's your number? What's your room number? I said 117, and they said, okay, here you go. It's like, all right, I hate it here. I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna lock myself in.
They just gave you a card without even like checking anything.
They asked my last name.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, all right. But I mean, it's a pretty generic last name. So
my name is Professor Lexington. And,
that's the one.
And I'm here to fuck bitches and play Marvel.
And I'm all out of Marvel.
Bitches. No, you're out of bitches.
Damn, Marvel and bitches.
Yeah, man. In other fighting game news, as we were talking about, there's some new characters in a couple games that came out. One is the Guilty Gear character who isn't a Guilty Gear character who's in.
Are you talking about Jacko, who's like a?
I was talking about the SamSho one.
Okay,
who's the SamSho one? Jacko's
the SamSho one's
Biken.
Well, I mean, Jacko is also a real Guilty Gear character, but she's in the new Guilty Gear, but she's not really. Anyway, Biken's in Samurai Showdown.
Biken's got 2 boobs and 1 arm.
Yep,
that's crazy.
That's the count. Yeah, she's got the cannonball hook chain arm. She's got some tatami mats somewhere.
Yeah, they're in there.
Oh, an eye patch.
She looks kind of cool. I watched. Yeah, and an eye patch. She's a pirate, 1-arm.
ninja.
Samurai ninja. I watched. Alex was telling me about this when we were doing like the prep for the show or whatever, and he's like, "Oh yeah, look up like Biken SamSho, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Man, remember SamSho? Wasn't that game great?" And Alex said
flatly,
no. It makes me very sad. Dude, SamSho is so great. I wish it wasn't dead. Like, the character looks awesome. The game is so cool.
What if they had rollback netcode? What if they had launched that with like GGPO and it had been like good and then the pandemic happened?
Dude, SamSho and Grand Blue both, man. It's a fucking tragedy. I don't even know how many times we're going to bring this up on this fucking podcast. I've lost count. We've had this exact conversation. I don't even care. It just makes me so sad. But yeah, so look up Biken SamSho. She looks fucking cool. It looks hype.
Let's
and
not
she doesn't play
short.
like a Guilty Gear character at all. She
looks like the Samurai Showdown
like a
character.
SamSho character. Yeah.
Go
ahead.
She looks cool. The trailer was hyped. Did you see how it was like, oh, it's Samurai Showdown, and then it was here comes another Daredevil, and that was great. I feel like they did a good job of adapting her.
I care less about that. She just looks like a cool character.
Yeah. Well, that's good enough.
I don't
for
care
somebody
about
who doesn't
Guilty
know.
Gear fan service at all.
Forgive Will. He knows not what he
Speaking of
says.
Dumb Guilty Gear fan service.
Jacko
is a character who builds houses.
Yeah.
She's the
like
Steve of Guilty Gear. Why? Why do developers make that? Why do they?
She's worse.
Maybe
she's confusing. No, if you put her little houses and shit out, they stay and then they level up. So you have to like protect the house so that it turns the game into an RTS or whatever.
Do you know what characters like that are? They're like the fucking game developer equivalent of when a writer in like a book or a show like is just an idiot. And they're like full of themselves, and they do a thing, and they're like, you can tell, you can feel it in the, you can feel it in the text or in the way it's presented on screen. If it's a show that they like thought they were being really fucking cool with whatever shitty thing, and then you watch it, and you're just like, this is dumb. You're not cool. You're not smart. Shut up. No. That kind of
I wanted to play Jacko.
Those, you would. They're for you, and also for the
for
developers.
The big brains. Yeah,
because it's like some fucking asshole game developer is sitting in a fucking basement somewhere, and they're like, "Hey, do you know what would be great in the video game Super Mario Brothers?"
What's that? What would be great in the video game Super Mario Brothers?
A Guilty Gear character. Wouldn't it be?
Viking comes out with fucking tatami mats.
Wouldn't I be the best game developer ever if I put fucking
Nintendo
shitty paper bag guy, fucking dumbass, awful.
Oh, Faust?
Yeah,
I fucking love Faust.
Some fucking asshole puts a dumb fucking character like Faust in a game who puts a cloud afro on Mario's head that's a bomb that explodes.
Opens up a door and then hits a Goomba.
Needles and all these things, and you're just like, okay, I mean, I guess that was difficult to do. Hats off to you. However, I would like to play the video game Super Mario Brothers, and because you put this stupid fucking character in it, I can no longer play the Super Mario Brothers video game anymore because you've poisoned it with this bullshit. My point is, fuck you, Level 40 Raichu. Your Pac-Man is a fucking asshole. I fucking hate you. How fucking dare you play such an obnoxious character? Fuck anyone who plays Steve. Fuck anyone who plays like all those dumb fucking characters. I hate game devs for doing that. It's like I can take some fringe elements. If you look at like a weird character, we've talked about like Sea Viper or whatever. I can take a character that has like fringe elements that pushes a game, But I feel like anyone can recognize a scenario where you add a character to the game and that character just fundamentally they don't even play the game. They just like run around in a circle and go bloop doop doop, and like you can't even interact with them.
It's exciting.
No, what is wrong with you? Why are you like this?
You can interact with Jacko. You just have to also interact with the houses that she built, so that they don't level up and then make angels with pitchforks.
Oh well, and God forbid you ever pass go and collect $200, because holy fucking shit, dude, that fucking does so much damage. Yeah, you don't want that shit. And my God, if you fucking let her get all the railroads, dude. Or God forbid, I mean, I know in the new patch, they patched out the thing where you can just get all the rental properties and not build houses, or, you know, they patched that out, thankfully, but it's still a really strong strategy, and you really got to watch out for that when you're playing Street Fighter.
You say that, and you're afraid of innovation, but Phoenix Wright is like a really cool Marvel character.
I'm not afraid of innovation. Fuck you. I will not even allow you. Like. No, I'm not even allow you to fucking character assassinate me that way. Fuck that. Come on, sound off in the fucking comments who you agree with here. But like, I feel like I have made my point clearly. I do not think that characters that are different or unique are bad. Like Fang is a really cool character in Street Fighter V. I don't really like Fang. Street Fighter V is dog shit, obviously. But he's
different. Yeah.
But he's cool and different, and he's done in a way that isn't so completely different to every other character in the game that you can't even... I would say a great example from a game that I like, that is as far as I would ever probably push an envelope, is like Hakan in 4.
Okay.
Hakan is fucking weird.
He's an oddball. I don't even know that he's a fighting game character.
He is. I mean, he breaks a lot of rules, but he doesn't break them like utterly. He doesn't just do nothing. It's not like Hakan. Like, okay, Hakan's whole mechanic is that he puts oil on himself, and when he's oiled up, he gets to break rules, basically. But if Hakan were fucking Jacko or Steve, okay,
we
if
could
Hakan
only
were
be
Steve,
so lucky.
Hakan would oil himself up, and then like you would have to play Duck Hunt as long as he had oil. You would have to control a reticle and like shoot pigeons, and that would be his mechanic. Like, that's how dumb I feel like Steve is. It's just like literally a completely different fucking game.
You don't have to tell me that Steve is dumb, because I'm still mad that the Twitter broke when they announced Steve, but not when they announced Sephiroth. I will never forgive
any
Steve.
Other better character. Like, dude, if I can get real fucking boomer, like I do not. Yeah. I understand the appeal of Minecraft. I really do. I get why people like it.
I have enjoyed it.
I've actually really never played it. I've only I've set up servers for like my nephews or for kids at my school.
Your kids, your illegitimate children.
Yeah. And I've like fucked around with that aspect of it, but like I've never really felt the urge to play it. But like I've watched people play it. I've kind of watched like videos and speedrunning it and stuff. I feel like I get what it's about. It seems neat. I understand the appeal. I do not understand the extreme like penetration it has, like the market penetration of like just like the absurdity of its ubiquity, I guess. Like it's just everywhere.
It's literally everywhere.
Everyone loves it. I don't get that. I feel like it would make sense to me if Minecraft was like as popular as like, I don't know, fucking some other normal franchise like Sonic. And people like it, and it's really popular, but it's not like it's like Minecraft and Fortnite. There's some weird fucking like phenomenon, and I'm going to tell you what the phenomenon is. It's 5-year-olds.
What is the phenomenon?
It's 5-year-olds. Whenever you run across some weird shit on the internet, it's like children. It's always children are the reason.
But
don't
like
kids, don't reproduce.
They didn't just invent 5-year-olds. 5-year-olds have been a thing for like a couple of years.
Yeah,
like
but
maybe
now
like
they can play Minecraft on their iPads. And that's why.
So is it like an ease of accessibility thing that really rubs you the wrong way? Okay. Games should be inaccessible.
No.
I don't know where you're going with this take.
It's not no okay. It's not that the game is easy to access that bothers me. It's that games, I feel like games that are like that are easy to access should not be that popular. Like, can you imagine if fucking like Tetris is a really popular game,
Yeah, 5-year-olds loved it back in the 80s.
But can you imagine, like, but even like back in the, like, I don't, it's just like, there's something about like everyone loving this, like it's like the best thing ever since sliced bread. I don't have a problem with anyone liking Minecraft. I have a problem.
Sounds like you might.
Here's your, no, okay. Yeah, to your exact point, I don't know where you're going with this. I have no problem with anyone liking Minecraft. Liking Minecraft is like liking, I don't know, fucking
beef stroganoff,
Arby's or McDonald's or some shit.
Arby's is good.
Yeah, right. You're like, yeah, who fucking doesn't like a McDonald's cheeseburger? I have a fucking huge problem with people who love Minecraft. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. You're like, oh my fucking God. I'm so hyped for Steve. Steve is going to be the best thing ever. I fucking play Minecraft. That is the part. Like, I don't understand, like, how of all the things you could get into as far as video games go that are, like, infinitely better than Minecraft, the thing you really get into is, like, straight up Minecraft. And to that point, like, I feel like people who, like, build in Minecraft and build, like, cool sculptures, that makes sense to me. And I feel like that's not who we're talking about.
Doing a thing? Okay, yeah,
those aren't the people.
Who are you targeting?
Those aren't the people who are excited about Steve. Like, I feel like the people who are like, I play Minecraft to like build a cool sculpture, which is basically art in a different medium. That's cool. They're not like, oh yeah, Steve. The people who are like, oh yeah, Steve, are all 9-year-olds, and there's a fucking million of them with their shitty, stupid fucking iPads, and they show up and they
got on Twitter at the same time.
They play Hero and they fucking crash Twitter. They play these fucking dumb characters who don't even play the fucking game, and I hate them. I hate them so much. Why?
You want everyone to be playing Street Fighter.
Hey, let's talk about Street Fighter's new characters since we're not getting anywhere with this rant.
As long as we're here. No, it's okay. I understand. You hate children.
I hate children.
You hate 5-year-olds. Do you hate Patton Oswalt?
I love Patton Oswalt.
Oh, well, he was the voice of Steve in the Minecraft Walking Dead style game.
I don't even know what you're talking about, but
do you remember The Walking Dead? The Telltale.
I never watched The Walking Dead. Game. A Telltale Minecraft game? Okay.
Have you ever played The Walking Dead? Telltale Walking Dead?
I have not, but I'm familiar with Telltale games because they made something that I did play.
The Wolf Among Us, Tales from the Borderlands, Batman. I'm running out of names.
There's some Telltale game I played that was like an adventure.
Sam and Max?
It might have been Sam and Max early on. Telltale Games Wiki.
They're defunct, so
they died.
This game, well, yeah, I think they came back to life. Allegedly, there's going to be a second season of The Wolf Among Us.
I just want a list of the games they've made, but this Wikipedia article doesn't have it, and I'm fucking
incensed.
Why? I just want to.
I think I named almost all of them.
I just want to know Telltale games. Okay, Batman.
There you go.
Something. Bones, CSI,
Bones,
Jurassic Park, Minecraft Story Mode.
There you go.
Poker Night, Puzzle Agent. Strong Bad's cool game for attractive people. I played that at some point. I forgot mostly.
No shit, I didn't know that was Telltale.
I like Strong Bad. I don't remember anything about it, but I'm almost and Monkey Island. I'd like touched
Monkey Island.
I never really played it, but I like.
But you know it.
I downloaded it and played it, and I know it. Yeah, and then I think that's all of them. Okay. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Street Fighter characters. There's also some announcements for Street Fighter characters.
Yeah.
You know who's going to be in fucking Street Fighter? Oro, everyone's favorite Third Strike character. He's actually very neat.
Oro.
I didn't look at the trailer for Street Fighter 5, but I like him in Third Strike.
I would not personally see Oro and get super duper hype because I don't really give a fuck about Third Strike. Although I will agree he is one of the more interesting characters in that game, for sure. And I have to say, I have not seen the trailer for Oro in 5. I have seen like some combos and gameplay clips.
Well, they gave him his old.
I would probably never play him, but he looks kind of cool. He's super wacky. He like jumps around weird. He holds a turtle the entire time he's fighting.
He's the far end of what you accept in a fighting game, isn't he?
Yeah, but he looks, but he does, as much as I don't like passing up opportunities to shit on Street Fighter 5, he does look like he fits in the game and looks like coherent in a way that like doesn't annoy me when I see him. I was like, yeah, that looks kind of neat. He isn't a character I would play, but he looks kind of neat.
Sure.
I saw a trailer for Akira, who I didn't know was already out at the same time.
Fucking love Akira.
She looks dumb. She's so stupid. She's just like air juggles in Street Fighter and generic pressure. I don't care.
Tell me that you haven't played Rival Schools without telling me that you haven't played Rival Schools.
I know Rival Schools is all about shitty, dumb air juggles. I've seen clips of it. I remember that when people were talking about Akira.
Watch Grand Finals or something. Rival Schools is so fucking cool. What a great game whose story I thoroughly devoured.
I'm Professor
when
Alex,
I was 10.
and any game that is about 11-year-old schoolgirls and is anime
they
is the
are
best thing
16.
that's ever existed. And I know everything about the lore, but I'm not a weeb.
I never said I wasn't a weeb.
Don't call me. I think you literally did on this podcast. I'm gonna have to fucking drum up the annals of our first 5 episodes, but there's definitely an episode where I'm like, Alex, are you a weeb? It was like when I found out you were a weeb, I somehow didn't know.
You're talking about like the far end.
It was as dumb as when you were like, Will, I knew your name was MetalMusicMan, but I didn't know you liked metal. That's how dumb I was for not knowing you were a weeb all these years, for not recognizing it, the stench of weebergy.
I know the audience at home can't see behind me, but I've got this glass sort of shadow box type thing behind me full of collector's edition.
He's got some toys.
It's pretty weeby. I wouldn't say that I'm not a weeb. I wouldn't say I'm the weebiest person you know.
You are not the weebiest person I know or have ever met, but you are above average on the weeb scale.
Yeah, you don't get these takes like I have without having seen your fair share of anime.
Anyway, the new Street Fighter characters, I guess, are fine. Akira looked kind of dumb. I don't give a fuck. But
if you played Rival Schools,
no one has played Rival Schools.
Everyone's played Rival Schools. Sound off in the comments if Will's dumb.
Literally no one has played that game.
I own it. Do you want me to? It's at my parents' house.
I mean, you don't count.
Why do I not count?
You're a big weeb.
Jeff has played Rival Schools. He's not a weeb.
That's only because he knows you and you infected him with your weebness.
So that's fucked up because now you're saying that it can't. I've obviously played, but I can't use myself as an example.
Yeah,
no one I know can I use.
This is like 7 degrees of Kevin Weeb Bacon. All right, so like anyone you've ever touched or interacted with doesn't count.
So okay, right? So
you've clearly infected them. Well, I mean, I could count because I'm clearly not infected. But if I had played it, it would be a strong candidate to say that I had been infected. Why would anyone have played? Why would anyone have played a game about 11-year-old schoolgirls fighting?
They're
in an
not
alleyway?
11.
They're clearly.
No, have you? Okay, look at Diego. Look up Akira's sister. Akira's
Alex, your mic is
brother Diego.
Diego.
Yeah.
Rival Schools. Diego Rival Schools.
Oh no, it's Daigo.
It's Daigo. Yes.
Daigo Kazuma.
Diego Ume Juarez.
Look at Daigo Kazama and tell me that he is 11 years old. Look at this old ass man whose birthday is September 15th.
I'm sure he's the only old man, and there are.
No, there's Raizo, Raizo.
I'm literally just gonna Google Rival Schools. This is a fucking bunch of.
Yeah, look up Rival Schools
with like 2 giant men in the background.
I'm gonna die on this hill. Fuck you. Rival Schools is great.
What?
Most of the characters are neat.
Why is it great? Tell me what you like about this fucking game.
It was basically 3D Street Fighter cross Tekken. You played 2v2s, and they had a bunch of like fun, dumb mini games in it. I liked it a lot, and would play it again. I would play it right now. I would fight you in Rival Schools.
It's a 3D fighter,
let me show you my Kyosuke.
It's a 3D fighter.
Do what?
It's a 3D fighter.
Yeah, it's 3D. So you can like sidestep and shit. This is before I realized that they don't click for me.
I want to know, like, someday, whenever we can like map out the human brain and understand how things work, I want to know like what the key like mechanical, physical differences are in our chemical makeup or the shape of our brain humps that makes you look at literally any fighting game, and just be like, oh yeah, that seems fun. I want to play that. Because I don't understand. I don't understand.
Compelling stories.
No! What is... Shut the fuck up! What is the fucking story of Rival Schools, Alex?
Oh, you're not going to believe it. Okay, so there are these 2 schools, and wouldn't you know it, there exists a rivalry between them.
Why is this compelling as a story?
Raizo is the principal, and he has been brainwashed by the rival school, and now they're just beating a bunch of people up. Anyway, here's Batsu.
This is not a compelling story. I hate
No,
you.
it's not. He's being hyperbolic. There's a bunch of like gang war stuff, and Akira's like in a motorcycle gang or something, and wears that motorcycle helmet and launches people. It's good.
I just can't. I can't accept that
the nurse is
you're
playable.
The same species as me sometimes. Like you just see, like you just look at. This is exactly
real
how
eugenics
I feel,
hours.
Look, yeah, like, you know, in a totally non-racist way, like I just have superior genes. Oh my god. No, dude, I don't know how you get there. I feel the same way when like Jordan talks to me about some of the fucking games he's played where like he'll talk to me about like Persona or whatever, and I'm just like, man,
Persona's good. Fuck
I know
you. Play
both,
Persona.
You both like tried so hard to get me to be interested in Persona, and like every time I'm just like, man, I don't know.
Sound off in the comments, guys, if you want to see a Let's Play where I watch Will and make sure he plays Persona.
I feel like at some point I have actually agreed to that.
And you did?
Yeah, I feel like I have agreed to that, and I have to actually do it, which is going to be awful. But anyway, ugh, you're the worst. Why do you like what
I'm
you like?
worst. My receipts.
Do
what? Why do I?
Why do you like what you like? Why are you?
I don't know.
This?
I've got like good taste. So I don't know what you're doing.
That's so weird because like demonstrably your taste is awful. It's
okay, so you know.
you know
what it was?
It thoroughly. What was it? Tell me.
My dad, he used to play fighting games with me, and we played Eternal Champions when I was a kid.
The Virashing. And then the great Virashing of your youth.
And the person who introduced me to anime is my dad.
You've told me that before. That's so crazy to me. I can't.
My dad is. He's been chasing after me the last couple of weeks. He wants me to watch the live action Rurouni Kenshin movies.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll do it too. And I think that is why, because Dad was like, "You want some weeb shit? I got you your weeb shit."
You told me about some weird horny space anime he told you about or something in one time. Yeah, it was like it was something weird. It was something weird and horny, and you were like, "Yeah." My dad was like, "You want to watch some weird and horny anime?" I swear. Am I gonna have to just go through every old podcast to prove that I'm not insane while Alex looks at me like I am?
What's probably happening is that you're paraphrasing.
Like well, that sounds accurate, yes. But it was some kind of horny space anime.
Harem anime?
Sure. Yeah, that sounds like a word.
It's got nothing to do with space.
All right, maybe it was just horny. Maybe there wasn't.
It was space. Like, here, you want to watch Love Hina? And I was like, sure, this is cute.
It sounds like porn. Did you watch porn with your dad?
I did not watch porn with my dad.
Are you sure?
Did you watch porn with my dad?
You really threw me a curveball there, Alex. I definitely thought you were going to say with my dad. I felt like I was ready, and then I just got really caught, and I had to think real hard. Man, I don't know. That's life experiences.
I think that really informed my taste. That I had a dad who was the one who introduced me and supported my endeavor to find weird fucking games like Rival Schools.
So you know what's kind of weird about that though is like I have definitely encouraged, and they're not my children, but like I've encouraged my nephews to do more like anime shit, and I feel like they're pretty like weeby considering. Like I feel like if I wasn't involved in their existence, it would be a lot less likely that they would be weeby at all. But they're not like you. So I wonder like how weeby your dad must have been. Or maybe he wasn't, and you just were already the weeb, perhaps.
I mean, left to my own devices, I probably would have watched like Pokemon, and then tuned out and started watching Animorphs or something.
Oh man, Animorphs! Why'd you have to remind me that existed?
Dude, have you ever read the books? Have you read all of the Animorphs books?
Not all, but I read a lot. I read a lot of Animorphs books. I don't remember anything about any of them other than that they had weird covers, but like I definitely read a bunch of them.
I'm going to link you the 2-hour-long deep dive on why Animorphs is good for your brain. You're shaking your head now.
I don't know. I mean, I remember liking it a lot as a kid. I don't really remember much about it.
Okay, so that's a good place to start from. So you remember they turn into animals and it's cool and fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're child soldiers.
Okay.
In a war that they didn't want to be involved in.
Sure.
And the aggressing species isn't altogether bad. They would like die without hosts or whatever. So anyway, Animorphs, very deep. War is hell. Child soldiers are fucked up. And I was reading that as a child. I was in third grade.
I read Animorphs in like third or fourth grade. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, maybe I was older. Yeah, maybe
you were probably in like fifth.
Maybe it was okay. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I would have been older if they were new. But whatever. It was in elementary and middle school.
Yes, yeah, they had them at the Scholastic Book Fairs.
Yes,
so,
yes, and the one guy who plays Iceman in the X-Men movies was an Animorph in the Animorphs TV show.
It was either him or his twin brother.
Yeah, because they are.
I'm honestly confused.
Because they are twins.
Yep. Iceman, and he's either him or his twin is in Veronica Mars.
And I just watched him or his twin is in The Boys.
Oh, I didn't know that. I did just see a Netflix original horror movie called Aftermath. It's not good.
Is it about rival schools?
There are 0 schools.
Okay.
Not a single school in the entire movie.
Dang.
No one has been brainwashed to be an evil principal.
Okay.
There isn't a boxer. Tiffany, I think that's her name. Tiffany from Rival Schools. I'm having a moment.
An elder senior moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, in other news, I watched the new Suicide Squad movie and it was good.
How was that?
It was very good.
It was good?
Yeah.
Good. What can you say without spoiling it?
So I can say I didn't see the first one because I watched like 3 clips from the movie and was like, no, this is clearly terrible. I will not watch this. Funny. I will not waste my time. What?
I said it looked funny from the trailers.
I'm sure there were a couple decent one-liners, but it just looked awful. And like it definitely took itself too seriously from what like I've seen. It's like, and which is why I was like, I'm not even gonna look at this. There were like some funny parts, and then like I watched like there's like a couple scenes with Will Smith. There's a couple scenes with.
Oh wait, you're talking about the first one. Sorry.
Yes, I'm not talking about the current one. I'm talking. Okay. Yeah, talking about the first one. I did not watch the original one. It just looked like it took itself way too seriously. Same. It had like some comedy in it, but like it just was fucking dumb. I've seen, like I said, a couple like 5-minute scenes from it that are on YouTube, and everyone I've watched, I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's exactly what I thought this movie was. It's just like so pointlessly serious, and then like just the tone is wrong, everything's awful, terrible. The new one is fucking great. It's fucking great. It's super funny immediately, and it's funny in like an absurd way that is very unique to its like it's got like the R rating and everything, but like it's not. I mean, I guess it is kind of like hyper violent, but then like the hyper violence is almost like black comedy, you know?
Like it understands it's not that it's taking itself hyper seriously, but it's aware of the movie that it is.
It's super aware. It knows exactly what it's doing. It most importantly, it has like a solid thread throughout the movie, so it's not just a movie of like dumb, stupid shit happening repeatedly, although that is part of the movie. It's also a movie that has like a very clear like point that it's trying to make. So yeah, it says something. It's a little bit of actual art as opposed to just like pointless, stupid shit. The cinematography is actually really solid for the most part. There's a lot of practical effects, which is great. It doesn't feel like extra CGI heavy, which is super rare for like superhero movies. It has some obviously, but and then yeah, it's also surprisingly like kind of poignant once or twice, and you're like, oh damn, like it actually like has some things to say. And yeah, so yeah, I really enjoyed it. I would say it's one of the best superhero movies I've ever seen.
Wow.
And that's understanding though what it is, right? Like it's not gonna fucking blow you away the way like Dark Knight or Logan does. It's a different kind of movie. But if I'm giving it a comparison, and obviously because it's the same director writer, this makes sense. But it's a way funnier, more absurd, and less heartfelt Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But like not
entirely not that.
It's got a lot of the art flair, again, same director, same writer, so it makes total sense. But a lot of the art flair, a lot of the, I don't know, just the way it's shot, it gets super, it gets super surreal, where they'll do like scene transitions that have like text built into the shot. like something will blow up and the flames will say like later that day or some shit. It's kind of like got that weird like fourth wall breaking surrealism. Yeah. There's a scene with Harley Quinn that this isn't too much of a spoiler. She fucking kills a bunch of people. And I guess they're trying to show her like mania. And so they show like half of the scene where she's just like killing things and shit's dying and exploding. And then the other half of the scene, it's like butterflies and rainbows and cartoon characters while she's like manically dancing around. And it's just a very interesting way to just like show, not tell. Tell, like what's, so it's really good. I mean, I really, really enjoyed it. I would say it's definitively a popcorn movie, but it has like some surprising, I would say it's a little less impactful emotionally. Well, significantly less impactful emotionally than, like a Guardians 2 was, but not emotionally impactful at all. It definitely has an element of that. And it's just a lot of fun. It's funny. I mean, there were multiple times where I was laughing and they weren't the kind of jokes of Guardians where like somebody has a clear punchline. I mean, and there was some of that. I'm not saying there's none of it. There's some of it. There's definitely cheeky, punny shit. But there's a lot of shit that's just like, really? You're just like, what the fuck are they doing? Like just shit that like doesn't have a clear like joke line. It's just like some really fucking weird shit occurs. And then they just like cut away to another thing. And you're like, I guess that was that thought. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And good performances. Idris Elba's great. John Cena's pretty great. Oh,
are you looking forward to Idris Elba's Knuckles? Just by the way.
Sure.
Good.
So one thing I want to talk about though that I have to dock the movie on, but also give it props for in a weird way. So there's this actor in the new Suicide Squad movie named Joel Kinnaman. Are you familiar with him?
No.
So, have you seen The Wire?
Yes, not in its entirety. I've seen maybe like 6 episodes.
Oh, that's really sad. It's a great show. It's an overrated show, and it is not, in my opinion, one of the greatest shows of all time. The way that people say that it is, but in a broader way, I would agree that it is the greatest, one of the greatest shows of all time. I don't think it's like a lot of people are like it's like the top 2 shows. I'm like, it's probably in like the top 20. It's a fucking great show. It wasn't like a top 3 show for me at all, but it was very, very good. And one of the most surprising things, which now in the modern times I feel like is less surprising, but if you watch The Wire, I don't know, maybe more than 6 or 7 years ago, or when it had first come out, you might have been very surprised to find out that Idris Elba is not American.
I suppose that is a thing that it would have been possible for people to have not known.
It was surprising for me when I first watched it, however many years ago it was. And I know it was when the show was new, because it came out in fucking 2005 or some shit. He is so good at the American accent. It is like completely indistinguishable from the fact that it's a performance. And in fact, to that point, if you look up some interesting trivia about his interview, they had specifically said they only wanted American actors. And he did the interview and just lied to everyone.
Good.
And then they like didn't notice. And then at the end he was like, cool, cheerio. And they're like, what the fuck?
Damn it.
Like, yeah. So that's fucking awesome. Idris Elba is like one of the fucking best actors ever. So to that point, because he's also in the movie, Joel Kinnaman doesn't do that. And I kind of hate him. He's some like, I don't know what he is. Let me be really racist. He's like Swedish or fucking Norwegian or some fucking, I don't know. Vague European things. He's from somewhere. Alex is looking it up. He's from
Swedish.
Sweden. He's Swedish.
And
he's a fine actor. I don't actually have a problem with like the way he acts, but and I don't fucking understand why this is, but he's always cast as like this fucking de facto stereotype American South good old boy, whatever, cowboy role. So he was on House of Cards before it went totally dog shit.
Sure.
And he was like a senator. And it was so distracting where he would always have like words he would say and they would have like soft palate, the way that like non-English people speak them, like, or like it's the way, like, if you think of like the way an Indian person speaks English, they speak like a more like proper traditional English.
Oh, the Queens.
Okay, where
sure.
their T's are like, if they said like top,
written,
the way I say
top.
like, yeah, or if I said top, right, you can hear ta, but it has a very like it would be like top,
sounds like
top,
drips.
like
yeah, okay.
So their T sounds are like a little bit different. there's like things like that and like other things. And like his performance always was very distracting for me because I could always tell it wasn't right. And they just keep casting him in those roles. I don't know how many times I've seen him in those fucking roles. And every time I'm like, there's gotta be a better dude than this dude to do these fucking roles. I don't understand because he's not a bad actor, but like nothing about him, like if his performances were so good and like his emotion was like so impactful and amazing that it like trumped that, I'd be like, yeah, man, he's a great actor. I don't care that it's like when they cast like fucking Patrick Stewart as Jean-Luc Picard and he's supposed to be like a French dude, but he just has a British accent. You don't care because his performance is so amazing. It doesn't even matter. Joel Kinnaman is not that good of an actor. And so Joel Kinnaman is in the original Suicide Squad, and this is like a soft reboot of sorts. And all the scenes I saw with him were just like super bad acting, super bad accent. And anyway, what I'm building to is props to Joel Kinnaman in this movie. He doesn't suck. I am shocked at how little he sucks. His accent is better. His performance is actually not dog shit. I wasn't constantly distracted by how awful he is at his job. And in fact, I would actually dare say that he does a pretty good job in the movie.
Maybe he had like a vocal coach and some better directing.
Yeah.
And better lines written for him.
Maybe. Because he's generally everything I've ever seen him in. I always see his dumb fucking Joel Kinnaman face. And I'm like, fuck you. Why are you here to ruin this awful movie? You know, even more or whatever. And like, he was actually, I was waiting.
You're waiting for the drop?
Rooting against him the entire time. And then it gets to a scene that's like very pivotal for his character. And I was like, here it is. He's going to make me leave my body and be annoyed. And he fucking delivered.
It stuck the landing.
He fucking delivered. Props to you, Joel Kinnaman. You fucking nailed it too. Viola Davis is fucking amazing.
Of course she is.
Oh my God, she's amazing. Yeah, so fun. Such a fun movie. Highly recommend the new Suicide Squad movie.
I'll watch it.
Can't believe
I intend to watch
DC
it.
made a good movie. Can't fucking believe it. And Dark Knight doesn't count because it's not, I'm talking about like DC Universe. Whoa, okay. I'm talking about the DC Universe movies. I'm literally not going to fucking touch that. You are insane. You are not well and should seek help.
You know what else was bad? Logan.
Fuck you. You're an actual crazy person. How is it possible? I'm sorry that there weren't enough 16-year-old animated girls.
There was no boxers. There was no brainwashed principal.
What the fuck?
They thought if they gave Professor X dementia, I would say that that's about the same, and it's not. I can tell. In all
fairness, I will give you that the end scene of child fighting in Logan did suck. It absolutely, unequivocally sucked, and I just don't care because it's a pointless 7-minute action scene in an otherwise borderline flawless movie. The other part that sucks a little bit is some of the interactions with Clone Logan are pretty cheesy, and I don't care, and I don't. Logan has 2 extremely flawed sequences, and it's those, and they're not good. They almost suck. One of them definitively sucks. The other is like borderline sucks. And then the rest of the movie is fucking perfect. What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yikes.
How could you possibly not like that movie, Alex?
I saw it.
You didn't cry like a baby when you watched that movie. Oh my God. What is wrong? I watched that movie in theater like 4 fucking times. How?
On purpose?
How are you like this?
Were you trapped? Were you locked in the theater and they wouldn't let you out?
It's so good.
So you could only keep watching it?
It's so good that, I can't even. What did you not like?
You know how?
Okay. So here's slow because that's amazing. That's like the best part of the whole movie. Well, then how? What? How? Words.
Well, okay. Let me start you off.
Doesn't have enough anime titties.
Let me start you off. I just don't like Wolverine. He's never appealed to me as a character. I don't identify with him. I think he's dumb. And that's just that sets the stage for me not to like a pretty forgettable mediocre movie.
You're insane. But let me give you an olive branch. You're fucking bonkers. There's something wrong with you. Like, just seek help, please. But I don't think Wolverine is like the most relatable character by any means.
Good.
He's not completely unrelatable. I mean, I don't agree with that. I mean, I think there's something about.
I said he didn't. I don't relate to him. I'm sure that there are other people who have been Canadian weapons of mass destruction who see, you know, and representation's important. It's important to see people like yourself in movies.
Do you have some weird angle about this that's like fucking weird
He's
white dude thing?
He's a fucking homewrecker. Scott and Jean were perfect together, and then fucking Logan shows up, ruins everything for everybody.
No, fuck their shitty, generic, fucking fake good relationship. Fuck that.
You don't know anything about Cyclops. Don't come in here talking to me about their shitty fake relationship. I watched some
X-Men comic books, all right, or some X-Men show, and I read 2 comic books. No, I watched the original show quite a bit.
Okay, have you seen The Death of Jean Grey? Have you seen when he tries to move on and then he starts dating her clone, or when him and Emma Frost have a thing going on?
If it was in the show, I saw it, but it's been a very long time.
None of those things are in the show.
Okay, then no, I have not.
Yeah, it's more complicated than just generic white bread.
I've never thought Cyclops was anything remotely interesting in my entire life. Cyclops is the least compelling, most generic, shitty character I could ever envision.
I'll call Jen in afterwards, and she can just fucking wail on you.
I've never in my life thought anything other than, why is Cyclops taking screen time away from any other character? It could be fucking Jubilee, and I would rather Jubilee be on the screen than Cyclops.
Because Jubilee is actually very cool. You know she's a vampire now?
What? No, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it is.
That sounds way fucking cooler. Everyone hated Jubilee in the original show. That's all I remember is people hated her.
Losers hated Jubilee. Jubilee was always cool.
Fuck Cyclops, though. What's wrong with you? He was cool when he jumped and shot lasers in Marvel 2 when I vaguely saw it across the arcade 2 times at Tilt. I thought that was neat. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I did think he looked really cool in that game.
Let me lend you my Ultimate X-Men, and it's like 2 volumes. I think you'll turn around on Cyclops. I think it'll recontextualize Cyclops for you.
I don't hate him so much that I'm like opposed to. Yeah, like he's not. I mean, my spectrum of hatred is very wide.
I do hate Wolverine enough that alone.
Just because of the Cyclops aspect.
No, I just don't like him. And then there's the Cyclops thing that makes me not like him.
But he's so angry and he can't deal with it. And isn't that
Wolverine?
Great?
No.
Yeah. No, it's great. I can definitely relate to that.
I'm sure. I just think that maybe that character type that's so angry and he just can't deal with it. That doesn't. I don't think that lines up with the Black experience.
Whoa! Now wait a minute. As a scholar of the Black experience, I feel like
because
You're saying it has to be explainable to relate to Black people? That doesn't
No. I'm saying that you're looking at this from a place of privilege, because Wolverine can just walk around.
You were gonna do this. This is such bullshit.
He can walk around all mad and shit, and no one shoots him to death.
No, that's even if they did shoot him to death, he'd be invincible. It wouldn't matter.
How nuanced.
You had some stupid white privilege angle for this fucking shit. I hate you so fucking much. I do not see any fucking inkling of that in this fucking character. I don't understand how Wolverine is more privileged. No, he just annoys me.
I just don't like him.
Okay, all right, fine. Fine. I fucking hate you so much. God damn it. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Point being, Wolverine is definitely not like my favoriteest character by any means, but I do think you can do interesting shit with him, and I think the most interesting thing you can do to him is make him completely helpless and powerless in the way that they do in that movie. It doesn't remotely matter that he can regenerate or is strong. Everything he tries to do, he's a tragedy character. That is why I think he's interesting. He anything he tries to do will always fail in some way, and it's because of some of the shit that you're talking about, like with relation to what he can't deal with or won't deal with. And that's also why I think even the aspect you're talking about of like him and Jean Grey is still interesting. Anyway, he's Wesley. How the fuck can you not like him? Everything he does fails. Everything he does fails and is awful. He's not completely Wesley. You're right. Okay. Because Wesley definitely has more. Wesley has a more emotional, relatable portion, 100%. But it is a very similar archetype of character where it's like he He tries to do well. Everything he does fails, and he just can't. He can't fucking do anything. And like you see the good in him, but he just can't. He just can't.
And the whole time you're just thinking, you fucking Homewrecker. Yeah, what a tragedy.
God. All right, you're crazy, dude. Logan is so fucking good, man. You're fucking nuts.
You know what did rub me the wrong way?
I don't know.
Okay, so when people are talking about how great what's it called, that dumb open world Zelda, Breath of the Wild, when people are talking about how great Breath of the Wild is, I've heard multiple people say, you know what, if you really want to enjoy the game, you really want to take it all in, soak it in, turn off the UI, get rid of the hearts on the screen, put your map away, and just get lost. And it's like, if you're bragging about how the best thing that someone can do is forget what it was they're supposed to be doing and just like fucking chill, that's not the game for me. Logan was like, oh, you know what would be what would really improve the quality of this movie? If we released it in black and white, because the color was really holding us back.
I do not understand a single
it's
thing
the same
about anything
pretentious
you just tried to make a point of.
Masturbatory fucking just remove a bunch of stuff and it'll be better.
That doesn't make any fucking sense. No.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
Hang on. Let me pre-olive branch. I have never seen the black and white version. I didn't even know that was a thing.
God.
I didn't even know that was a thing. That does sound stupid in the context of that, because especially, at least as far as like a movie goes, if it's not shot in black and white, it's sort of like you can take any picture and you can make it black and white, but if you didn't like appropriately shoot it with certain contrast and shit, just turning it black and white makes no sense. So I'm agreeing with you there, and that doesn't make any sense and is stupid. Your initial point about Breath of the Wild is very silly to me, because I do think you can gain something about not having certain information, and you can dial in more to something by having UI elements taken away. And my direct counter to everything you said is how stun bars are fucking awful and should never exist in a fighting game. And it's better when they don't exist and you don't know when you're going to get stunned.
Oh, I don't know.
You're like, I always want a stun bar. I know stun bar is like a completely pointless extra UI element that doesn't need to exist. And in fact, by removing it and not knowing when you're going to get stunned, it adds like thrill and tension more so. And I think you can also make an argument for having the stun bar also adds tension. I think there's validity in both of those arguments. But yeah, my point here is like, I've never played Breath of the Wild that way, but as you were describing it, my first thought was, damn, that sounds kind of neat.
Dude, you really want to get back into Breath of the Wild? What I hear from all the people who have stopped playing that game because it fucking sucks is the way they got back in was to turn off the UI and jerk themselves off and play one-handed. I don't know how you think that
game sucks, and I feel like you have to give me some credence, because I have definitely criticized a lot of things about that game.
Sure, yeah.
Especially
you have.
Especially late game weapon durability and some of the animal design stuff. I mean, we've definitely talked about that, but like I think there's a lot of good in Breath of the Wild. I think there's a lot of fat that should be trimmed, and I think when I say that, people assume that I mean I want to take away from the explorative, non-direct aspects of it, which you obviously will never like because you're you. But I don't mean that. I actually feel like there were too many like quests and specific things. I feel like I wanted to like show up into like a town and have it be like, oh, what's going on, and kind of like explore. But it was like you had to get in there and you had to figure out the right person to talk to progress. Whereas I feel like in a game like, say, Skyrim, that does a similar thing and in some ways does it better, in some ways does it worse. I think Skyrim always did a better job of like, whenever you got to a certain part, there would be like a scripted event where like a dragon would be attacking shit or like some shit would happen. And I feel like sometimes in Breath of the Wild, I would get to a place and it would just be very clearly like, you came here, but you shouldn't be here yet. You know, like you haven't done the blah quest to get the thing. And so it felt like it didn't, if anything, to me, it didn't lean in enough to.
So they should have taken less UI elements to the game.
No, I think the game's UI is totally fine. And I would never, as much as I thought it was kind of interesting what you said, because I've done playthrough, I think it can be, my point was not that I think the game would be better without a UI, because the game has a really minimalist UI already. But it can sometimes be interesting as like a play experiment to fuck around with the game's UI and change some shit. I mean, there are definitely games I've played that have overbearing UIs, and someone will make a mod that's like a minimalist UI, and I do think that can improve a game. Absolutely. I mean, I absolutely think a UI can improve a game. So my point is not that like definitively Breath of the Wild would be better without a UI. I just don't think, as you seem to, that it's definitively like bad to like change a game's UI or say that a game could be made better with UI change.
I'm not.
Or by
I'm not
removing
saying
elements
that.
or adding elements.
I'm saying that people
it.
who claim that if you remove all of the elements and get confused and lost, that don't know what they're talking about.
See, but I don't even disagree with that as a statement
anybody.
either, though, because there is a certain. I mean, okay, again, as a less maybe dumb, because again, Skyrim just does a better job of this, but like a less dumb thing is like any Skyrim or Elder Scrolls game rather. It can be a very different play experience to intentionally avoid the like main quest. That's a real thing. To intentionally just wander out into the woods and see what happens. That absolutely feels like a different play experience. And so that's my hang up when you say that. I'm not saying those people are like the rightest people ever and super smart, but I don't think that that's just inherently stupid, because there are definitely games that are that way, where like if you can play them in a more or less focused manner. And so it seems very reasonable to me to suggest that Breath of the Wild might be better experienced if you don't care about where you're going or what you're doing. That doesn't seem unreasonable to me.
You played Firewatch, right?
Love that fucking game. I've played Firewatch like 3 times.
Okay. This is a mild criticism for Jeff. Jeff, don't take this the wrong way. I played Firewatch at Jeff's insistence. I really did like the game. That's a great game. That's the takeaway. It's a great game.
Love that game.
What Jeff said was that the real way to enjoy that game is to turn off the arrow that tells you where to go. And I feel like the only benefit that I got to that was that it made the game take longer, and I got irritated that I was playing it because I got lost.
Yeah, I think those are completely valid opinions either way. And I think for someone like you, that makes perfect sense, because you fucking suck at direction, and you also are irritated by not feeling like you're constantly driving towards some goal,
going where I'm supposed to go.
Which is a flaw in your persona, and you should feel bad about it. But no, so like there is, I would never. Okay, on the flip side, I would never, were I Jeff and telling you to play Firewatch, I would absolutely never tell you that. And I think it's a huge fucking mistake on Jeff's part to have ever said that to you. Frankly, Jeff, you're a very, very stupid man for talking to.
He's not that bad.
For talking to Professor Alex about. I'm not saying for him thinking it or suggesting it to anyone, but specifically for suggesting it to you. He is the biggest buffoon who has ever lived. There is no way that could have gone other than south.
I kept getting turned around.
Or more precisely, it would have gone in all directions and never gotten anywhere with you.
Specifically south when it wanted to. Yeah, I walked out and I was like, damn, that was scary what just happened. And then I was like, oh, I'm still here. And then I walked around some more and I was like, fuck, I am still in this godforsaken campsite.
Yeah, so his point is basically that if you don't use the arrow, you will have to listen to like what they're saying, or the clues the game gives you, whether it's via visual clues in terms of like the trail itself, or like via hearing what other people say or reading signs or books or things. And you will then be more in tune with the game, and you will kind of divine a natural understanding and have a better experience. And I actually think that's, assuming that works, you are the kind of person that works for, I definitely think that can be a thing. Because that's a thing with, again, the Elder Scrolls games. There are times where I will do playthroughs where I do not allow myself to fast travel. And that absolutely is a thing. And it does just make the game take more time, but it also means you run into things along the way, you notice things maybe you didn't notice before. But for me, since I'm, by game show, multi-spec, whatever the fuck thing you want to say, I play the game both ways, and it kind of depends on what mood I'm in. Kind of like, do you feel like getting pegged tonight or not? Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't. But sometimes you do, and that's a good thing. For me, I can flex into that, right? Sure. And I can do like different things. some people are just going to be setting away. And yeah, anyway, Jeff, you fool. This man has gotten lost. This man, Professor Alex, has gotten lost on 2 blocks in the middle of Soulard and not known which way to go. And I had to put a leash on him like a tiny puppy and give him dog biscuits to get back to his
child that's too big for a leash
to get back to his car. So yeah, I'm sure that was just a net loss for you, and I have absolutely no argument other than that.
Sure.
For some people, it wouldn't be, and I hope it made sense why it might be for those people, but it will never be that way for you.
Yes,
there's no way it would ever be that way for you, ever. Absolutely not. No. But yeah, what a great game Firewatch is.
I like it. Yeah. I would leave the UI elements on in Firewatch. I would leave the color in Logan, and I think that Magneto versus Wolverine is a 5-5 matchup that I don't like to play.
Whoa. Okay, hang on. In a game, not in lore.
No, not in lore.
Oh,
It's like
99-1. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus Christ. I feel like they should make it 99-1 in games. I don't even care. He should just be able to. Yeah.
I wish it were that way.
That would be fucking cool. Color
it is
Logan
the worst.
seems weird. The UI in Firewatch is already really minimal. I don't have any problem with it. But yeah, I get it. Anyway, any closing thoughts? This is the most we've argued maybe ever on a podcast. I feel like this is the most we've ever been like in total disagreement of multiple topics back to back.
Dude, you came out swinging. You came for me at rival
like
schools,
and
that's
not
that's
something
fucked
I would
up.
Do. I'm so kind and understanding and supportive. What? I can't believe you'd be so mean to me, Alex. How dare you?
Oh yeah, that's a me thing.
That's you. You're so rude and abrasive, and people can hardly stand you when they first meet you, Alex.
It's true.
Why is that? Why are you that way?
I accept that. I accept my place, my role.
Thank you for understanding. Hopefully next time Alex is nicer.
Yeah, I'll switch you.
All right, I've been MetalMusicMan.
I've been Professor Lex.
And we will catch you guys next time.
Bye.